Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to Do You Here's What I Hear, just a little video about some albums that I have recently picked up. So sorry, it's a little bit of music instead of a little bit of film. So I'm just going to go through these and talk a little bit about them. Now the first two, after several people in the community telling me to give this artist a chance, I finally got around to picking up Bjork's album Debut, and Post. Now I have to say I haven't listened to these albums enough times yet for it to sink in, but I would certainly say the stuff that I really like, and there's some stuff that is a little bit irritating, but again I haven't really had enough time to digest them, because I only got them in a few days ago and I kind of just wanted to do this video. But I will definitely give them more spins, as the kids might say. Well, I probably wouldn't say because they're all digital and Spotify now, but I'll certainly, there's enough to pique my interest, put it that way. Next, a couple of new albums, like just about a week old. After a little bit of a hiatus, the wonderful Nails are back with Every Bridge Burning, their follow-up to You Will Never Be One of Us, their wonderful album from 2020 maybe. After that album, which was a huge lengthy 22 minutes, they're back to 10 tracks, 18 minutes. They're back to, you know, lots of long songs. It's 18 minutes worth. This might actually be better than You'll Never Be One of Us. Again, it's just pure bludgeoning, but there are actual textures. I mean, it's amazing to say, because obviously 10 songs, 18 minutes, you wouldn't necessarily think there's enough time for kind of shading, and you know, there's really heavy breakdowns, there's obviously speed involved, perhaps not just on the record, but just punishing stuff. Again, you're not always in the mood for it, but when you're in the mood for it, it just flies by. But again, it's not just 10 songs, it's just a wall of sound. Again, there are breakdowns, there are nice little chunks, because again, the whole point of Nails, their kind of mission statement, if you will, was to take all the bits that they like out of songs and just make that the song. So all the big fat riffs, or all the fast bits, just make that the song. Yeah, they're all just quite fantastic. Lacking the ability to process empathy is a wonderful title, but Imposing Will and Punishment Map just start off punching you repeatedly in the face, and the title track, Every Bridge Burning, is quite fantastic as well, and again introduce these different textures within the beating your ears. And then next, another absolute cracker, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, almost said the Wild Seeds. After the kind of not necessarily experimental, but certainly very long songs of Ghost Teen, after the masterpiece that was Skeleton Tree, this is kind of back to more instrumentation. It's a very lush sounding album. It does remind me of the greatest double album of all time, in my opinion, Abattoir Blues, not Avatar Blues, that's James Cameron. Abattoir Blues, Lyre of Orpheus. But this one is kind of back to being, classy and assured. Ghosteen was very kind of electronic but soundscapes. I mean, obviously Nick Cave and Warren Ellis have done a lot of soundtracks, and Ghosteen was more kind of like a soundtrack album with a few lyrics. And to be fair, the lyrics on Ghosteen weren't great, whereas he's kind of back to the lyrics that were more accustomed from Nick Cave, because again, there was only so far you could kind of keep going with Ghosteen without doing like 20-minute songs. It's a bit like Tool and Fear Inoculum. How much further can they go? So it wouldn't shock you if they went back and did 3-minute songs. So that's kind of what Nick Cave's done in Wild God. The longest song is about 6.25 minutes. I think it's only about 44 minutes, the album, but it's absolutely beautiful and absolutely wonderful. The short closer, As the Waters Cover the Sea, is quite beautiful, and Song of the Lake, Wild God are a really good opener. But again, all the songs are absolutely wonderful. And again, I don't want to use that cliche of it's a return to form, because again, Ghosteen was a very good album, but again, after that, just absolutely diamond perfection of Skeleton Tree, which of course halfway through his son tragically died. This is back to kind of classical Nick Cave, if you like. And then, well, I'll get with 2 more albums actually out this year, and then I'll get to new band discovery. Yes, that's actually 4 albums from 2024, can you believe it? So this is Blues Pills, and this is Birthday. So this is their 4th album, and as you can see, the lead singer has either had too many burgers or is pregnant at the time of this anyway. This might actually be their best album since their debut. Yes, it's still got that 70s tinge to it. It's not as guitar laden as their other albums. Obviously the guitar's still there, but again, it's kind of quite beautiful. It's a more mature album. Lyrically, I think it's better, because some of their previous albums, again, it's 70s tinged, and let's be honest, 70s rock and roll lyrically isn't that interesting, if we're being honest. Not progressive, but just kind of standard 70s rock and roll. One of the reasons I'm not like into Deep Purple and stuff like that, it's just lyrically they're not that interesting. So again, I don't want to say return to form, because their last album was still very good. All their albums are very good, but this might actually be their second best one after their debut. It does have 11 tracks, but again, because there's always albums, once you get past 11 tracks, there's usually some filler that you could have left off. I know sometimes contractually you have to have a certain number of songs, but 11 is always a really good number. And then an album to put a smile on, well, my face at least, it's Hammerfall's new one, Avenge the Fallen. I mean, look at them, you can tell what kind of music they play. Again, Hammerfall, in some sense, a bit like AC/DC, you kind of know what you're getting, even though obviously Hammerfall are way better than AC/DC. And again, 10 songs, nice number. Avenge the Fallen, the opener, the title track, is moving and stirring. The end justifies, is absolutely wonderful. In the past I have criticised Hammerfall's power ballads for being bloody awful, but Capture the Dream and Hope Springs Eternal are actually quite moving. Again, you know what you're getting, but by jingo, it just puts a smile on your face. And again, in this day and age, I mean, there's this singer, Joachim Cans. Look at that outfit. I bet we'd all want an outfit like that. There's the guitarist, of course, Oscar. Again, wonderful guitar solos, just fantastic power metal. And again, they know how to laugh at themselves. They don't take themselves so seriously. I mean, how can you take yourself that seriously with a beard like that? It's just lots of fun. It'll make you pound your fist. It's just an absolute joy. Again, Hammerfall records for me, or albums, are really hard to judge because they just put a smile on your face. And their latest is no different. And now to my recent discovery. Fortunately, they've only got 3 albums. There's nothing worse than discovering a band and realising they've got 16. But they've only got 3 albums. So this is Brutus. This is the album Nest. So I think they've only been around since 2014. Granted, that's 2019. I think they've been around from 2014, so that's only 10 years. They're from Belgium, of course, as you would know. So this is Nest. This is Burst. And this is Unison Life. So Brutus are, as I said, Belgian. They are a power trio. I do love my power trios. But what makes them unusual, they've got a female vocalist, which doesn't make it unusual, but she's actually the drummer. So you don't see too many bands with the drummer being the singer. Obviously the band, Levon Helm, did some singing, but he wasn't like the lead singer. So we have the situation with Brutus that the lead singer is actually the drummer. So she has a very gritty voice, a very gravelly voice, like she's been eating packets of Marlboros. So her voice might not be to everybody's taste, but I really like it. She does sound a little bit like the vocalist in Sleigh Bells. Again, that kind of a bit of grit to it. The music itself reminds me a lot of At the Drive-In, which was the Texas band which members split up, and obviously 2 of them became the Mars Volta, arguably one of the best bands of the 21st century, and the remaining members then became Sparta. But it definitely has that At the Drive-In energy, so you can have slow bits and then very manic bits, and just completely cacophony, meltdown, spiraling in all directions kind of music. Again, their albums don't have a lot of songs on them. Again, they're roughly about 10, 11, which again is a nice number for albums, I think. So for example, on Nest, the titles of the songs are Fire, Django, Cemetery, Techno, Carry, War, Blind, Distant Space, Horde 5, because they have from their one of their early EPs, which unfortunately isn't on physical, so I had to get that from Bandcamp, which hurts me. And then finally Sugar Dragon, yeah, Horde 5, because they have a few tracks called Horde, also 1 to 5, but just great energy. And I do love a female vocalist, and also the fact she's a power drummer at the same time as singing, which is, it's confusing enough when somebody plays guitar and sings at the same time, let alone plays drums and sings at the same time. Obviously she doesn't sing all the time and every minute of the songs. They are, I would say there's more instrumentation than singing, but still, she is the lead singer, even though she's sitting down playing drums at the same time. Unbelievable. So thanks so much for watching this little episode of Do You Hear What I Hear? So please let me know if you're familiar with any of these albums and what other albums you would recommend in a similar vein, and hopefully you'll join me again for more videos, which mostly will be about films, but every now and again it might be about music. So this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying I hope you're not too confused by this video, and farewell.